Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the webinar on the evaluation process for the first call for the business plan 2022-2024. We are very much happy to have you here and to listen to what we have to tell you about this evaluation process. But first of all, let's talk about some housekeeping rules. You need to know that we are recording this event, and exactly because we are recording and due to the GDPR rules, we can only take questions through the chat, so that it will not be possible to have an interactive session. However, you can write down your questions. We will try to answer them towards the end of the presentation. In case we don't manage to answer all the questions, we are going to create a Q&A document, which is going to be uploaded on the website. So we try to get basically all information that you need. Otherwise, you can always write to us, and you will see at the end of the presentation the email address where you can directly contact us. So what are we talking about today? So in order to align ourselves also with your expectations, let me say that today this webinar is about the process of the evaluation that we are going to implement for these calls for proposals. So we are concentrating on the process, not on the content. We're going to explain step by step how this is going to work out. But if you would like to know exactly the relation to the content, then you will need to directly contact the thematic areas involved in the call. Now, I would like to present you this meeting by saying that we try to define the evaluation process following certain principles that I believe that you all share with us. First of all, the independency, the impartiality, and also the objectivity and accuracy of the evaluation as such, in order to have all consistent information. We tried and we are struggling to make sure that we are avoiding any type of conflict of interest from the very beginning. And obviously, we are also ensuring the confidentiality of all information that you are providing to us, and obviously that we are also sharing with the others. So we are starting the process by indicating the steps taken from the admissibility and eligibility check. Then all the steps that will be taken also during the evaluation, during the selection, and till basically the communication after the selection. But in this case, I will invite my colleague, Mark Martinez, to guide you through all the steps and to inform you on what you have to take into consideration, because we believe that a proper information on the evaluation is essential for you also to write down a good proposal. So Mark, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks Miriam, Alessandra. So first of all, let me greet you all. So regarding the evaluation process, what is important to keep in mind is that the evaluation process, as we already mentioned at the short presentation that we did regarding this issue, at the info sessions that we carried out 2 weeks ago, is integrated by 5 main phases, from the eligibility and admissibility check to the portfolio selection and communication of results. Each phase, as you can see here, and you will see later in more detail, has associated at the same time some outcomes like can be the individual evaluation report, the evaluation letter, the summary evaluation reports, etc. So let's go ahead, explaining a little bit with more detail the first phase of this evaluation process. The admissibility and eligibility check is the previous process to the actual evaluation. Okay, this admissibility and eligibility check aims to check whether a submitted project proposal is addressing the minimum eligible requirements defined in the call. Depending on the call, the eligibility requirements can be more or less. Specifically, we can find up to 6 different eligibility requirements, but the most common are the following ones. First of all, we can find the completeness. Okay, this is a common eligibility criteria for all the calls, which aims to check if the submitted proposal is complete, is submitted in time, in English, and with all its mandatory sections. The second is the lead applicant eligibility. Depending on the call, any type of applicant will be eligible to be lead applicant of the project proposal. But there are also some specific calls where the lead applicant must be an EIT Urban Mobility core partner or an experienced project partner. Just check that carefully. Thirdly, we have the partnership composition. Some calls just need 1 or 2 partners to be eligible. However, in the most of the cases, you will need a partnership, which means different partners integrating the consortium of your project. Please check also if this is required within the call at which you would like to submit your project proposal, and also check the partner profiles required. Okay, maybe there's a call where you will have to build a consortium with 2 cities, with 1 industry, etc. So check it carefully. In fourth place, we have the co-funding rate. Okay, the co-funding rate is really simple to check. The thing is that all the different calls have different co-funding rates that must be achieved and that must be addressed. So just check it. And finally, you have also the KPIs that must be addressed. Okay, these KPIs that must be addressed, and depending on the call, you will have 1 KPI or another. You can check the list of KPIs that integrates the EIT Urban Mobility within the EIT Urban Mobility website, and specifically within the supporting documents of the call. So, regarding the main outcomes referred to this evaluation process, to this part of the evaluation process, the admissibility and eligibility check have no specific outcomes associated. Okay, if the proposal is eligible, will be directly assigned to an evaluation panel for its evaluation. However, in case the proposal is not eligible or is not admissible, then we will have a not desired, let's say, outcome of the process that will be a notification to the lead applicant containing and explaining why the proposal has failed the eligibility check. If this is the case, and we expect not having any case like that, if this is the case, you can always submit an appeal to the EIT Urban Mobility team in case you think that the eligibility or the ineligibility and non-admissibility reason is not correct. An example of an appeal. For example, if in the day in which you were submitting the project proposal, the application form is not working, and maybe you are not able to select a KPI which is required for your call document, then you have the right to submit an appeal. However, it's important to provide also a proof with your appeal process, meaning that if you have this situation when you are submitting your project proposal, please contact us, since in case we are not able to solve your problem at that moment, this communication will be approved in order to submit your appeal process. After doing this eligibility and admissibility check, it's important to keep in mind that the different project proposals or eligible project proposals will go to the second and maybe the most important part of the evaluation process, which is the quality evaluation. The purpose of this quality evaluation is to assess the quality of the eligible project proposals. The different external evaluation experts will be requested to read all the project proposals and evaluate it against the evaluation criteria, from a strategic fit evaluation to the full proposal evaluation. It's important to keep in mind that each criteria group will be scored from 0 to 5. 0 when the information provided in your project proposal is none or is missing, or 5 when the information required by the application form and the information provided by you is excellent. The external evaluation experts will also have to complete an individual evaluation report. Okay? This individual evaluation report will contain different questions and different comments referred to each of the evaluation criteria evaluated by the external evaluation experts. giving comprehensive comments and scores and explaining why your proposal has been scored in one way or another. So regarding the quality evaluation and specifically regarding the evaluation criteria, which is important to keep in mind, and I think that most of you have already realized that, is that as you may have read, the evaluation process this year consists in two phases, the strategic fit evaluation and the full proposal evaluation. Both phases will be qualifying, meaning that all proposals must pass the strategic fit evaluation in order to go to the full proposal evaluation. To pass the strategic fit evaluation, the applicant will have to obtain at least 3 points in each of the 3 questions integrating the strategic fit evaluation. If this happens and the applicant obtains equal or over 3 points in each of the 3 questions, the external evaluator, expert evaluator will go directly to the, or will pass directly the proposal to the full proposal evaluation. However, if this is not the case, and the external evaluation expert or one of the 3 external evaluation experts evaluating your project proposal give a score or 2 or less than 3 in one or more of the 3 questions integrating the strategic fit evaluation, then this external expert evaluator will contact with the rapporteur of each evaluation panel and will be the rapporteur the one responsible to decide how to proceed. So in case the project proposal passed the strategic fit evaluation, the project proposal will go to the full proposal evaluation, which is integrated by 3 sections, which are excellence, impact, and implementations, having a total of 85 points. It means that after all the evaluation process, all the quality evaluation process, the applicants will have a maximum of 100 points, meaning 15 points from the strategic fit evaluation and 85 points from the full proposal evaluation. Which is important to keep in mind also is that you must read carefully all the section and all the evaluation criteria integrating the call at which you would like to submit your project proposal, from the strategic fit evaluation criteria to the quality and efficiency of the implementation, because these will be the criteria that the different evaluators will keep in mind in order to evaluate your project proposals. So the main outcome from this quality evaluation process will be the 3 individual evaluation reports from the 3 external experts evaluators integrating the evaluation panel that will be evaluating each project proposal. After doing so, we will go to the consensus meeting. Okay, this consensus meeting and compilation of results phase is the 3rd phase of the evaluation process. Okay, the external experts evaluators will submit the individual evaluation reports to the rapporteurs, who will be responsible for preparing the summary evaluation report per each project proposal, considering and integrating all comments and feedbacks reflected in the 3 individual evaluation reports. The summary evaluation reports will be validated at the consensus meeting. The consensus meeting will be used to validate the summary evaluation report developed by the rapporteur, but also to reduce, in case if this is the case, the potential divergences between the different evaluators that have evaluated the same proposal. Finally, once the summary evaluation report will be validated by the consensus meeting, there will be a quality control carried out by a quality controller in order to ensure that the quality of the summary evaluation report to be submitted to the different selection committees have quality enough. The main outcome of this process, as you can imagine, is the summary evaluation report. Then we go to the 4th phase of the evaluation process. Okay, this 4th phase of the evaluation process is the portfolio selection. The portfolio selection aims to select the projects or programs proposed for funding according to a strategic criteria. Specifically, when selecting the proposals, the selection committees, besides the final scores given by the external evaluation experts, will take into consideration other factors such as duplicity, geographical balance, etc. These factors are needed to make sure to select the proper portfolio of projects that will deliver the results and KPIs in compliance with the strategic agenda of the EIT Urban Mobility. It's also important to mention that only proposals obtaining equal or over 60 points from the quality evaluation will go to the portfolio selection. It's also important to keep in mind that from all those proposals that have obtained equal or over 60 points, just the double of proposals to be granted will arrive to the portfolio selection process. Meaning that if your segment have a total budget for the approval of 5 proposals, just 10 proposals will go to the portfolio selection. When we say just 10 proposals, we can say 10 or we can say 11 proposals, but it will be no more than the double of proposals available to be granted. So the main 2 outcomes of this process will be the ranking list of the projects, okay, where the projects and the different project proposals will be ranked according to its scoring and according to the prioritization that will have given by the different selection committees. And the second, and also important, will be the selected portfolio of projects proposed for funding with recommendations and conditions if required. Okay, and then we will arrive to the final, let's say, the final step of the evaluation process, which is the communication of results to the applicants. First of all, the lead applicants of the submitted project proposals will receive a communication from the EIT Urban Mobility team during the beginning of July of 2021. This communication will contain the evaluation letter, the summary evaluation report, and a set of conditions and recommendations if required. When I say required, I mean that there are 3 options. You can receive your evaluation results saying that your proposal has been rejected and will not be proposed for funding. You can find your proposal proposed for funding, but with conditions and recommendations. And finally, maybe there will be some cases where the project proposal is so perfect that you will have the evaluation letter saying that your proposal is proposed for funding without any conditions or recommendations. In any case, in the case of the applicants of the proposal selected for funding with conditions or recommendations, you will have 2 weeks to resubmit the project proposals integrating the recommendations and conditions. In case the selected proposals doesn't agree in fulfilling the set of conditions, and I'm saying conditions, not recommendations, in this case, if the selected proposal doesn't agree on fulfilling the set of conditions, the EIT Urban Mobility management team may select another proposal following the ranking list provided by the independent evaluation carried out during the evaluation process. Finally, it's important to mention that the selected proposals, as well as other activities to be developed internally by the EIT Urban Mobility, will be included in the draft proposed business plan. Here we say the draft of proposed business plan because at the end the business plan will have to be approved by the EIT. Okay, next slide. Perfect. So finally, let's say that the final 3 main outcomes of this final step of the evaluation process will be the summary evaluation report, the evaluation letter with conditions and recommendations when applicable, and finally, the portfolio of projects proposed for inclusion at the business plan 2022-2024. And that's it from my side. Now I give the word to my colleague, yes, Alessandra Pala.
Thank you very much, Mark. Sorry. So thank you very much. I think that we somehow managed to provide you with a general overview of the process. We have one question so far, because as you could see that one of the requirements in some of the calls, not in all, I would like to highlight that, is that the lead partner could be only either a core partner or an experienced project partner. And the question was, what is the experienced project partner? Is there a definition for that? Now, for us, it was indicated in the documents where this was somehow outlined, the experienced project partner is a partner which has been part of a business plan 2020-2021 of EIT Urban Mobility. So whatever partners that implemented some activities with us or is going to be implemented in 2021. The reason why we had only in some calls this particular restriction, let's say, is that in those specific calls, the complexity of the activities to be implemented require a certain level of experience in order to be able to bring the activity to its final successful end. So that's why we had to somehow streamline the type of partners. But as far as I remember, there are other questions to be answered, and I will give the floor to my colleague Mark Martinez for that.
Okay, let's see if there are more questions. Please provide more questions. Let me check.
Here we have a question saying that there is a project director in a municipality, and the small cities in Turkey are struggling to find partners among European countries. Now, what we can offer here is that EIT Urban Mobility is providing a matchmaking opportunity with a platform. And in this case, what we can advise you is to go through our website where this information is provided and try to get into the matchmaking area so that you might have the possibility to meet other partners that might be somehow interested to have you, or you might be interested to have them on your project. So the link to the platform, if it's a B2Match platform, so basically is the same platform where the webinar that we're having right now is hosting. So I think that if you manage to be here, you might be able to reach also the link to the matchmaking platform.
Yeah, if you allow me also, Alessandra, it's also important regarding this last question related to the project director in the municipality, that is also important for you to contact with the innovation hub director, okay, with innovation hubs from your area, okay? Because if you contact with them explaining also which is your project idea or your interest, etc., maybe this could be also a way to increase your net and also to have the possibility to meet other partners or other European partners, okay?
Thank you very much, Mark. Indeed, this is very important. As you know, we are divided into innovation hubs that are very much working together with a partner. So definitely our suggestion is to get in contact with them. Now we have another question in relation to the strategic fit. You would like to know whether the strategic fit is evaluated by EIT or also by the experts. Now, the strategic fit is indeed evaluated by the independent external experts. So they will do their first, let's say, phase of evaluation, and they will continue in case, let's say, as Mark said earlier, the result of the strategic fit is somehow above 3 points per each question.
Okay.
Mark, I'll leave the other question to you.
Okay, so there's another question. If there is a guide for using Plaza, yes, as it was also indicated in the different call documents, there will be a guide for the use of Plaza that will be published in the EIT Urban Mobility website the 9th of April. Okay, in this guide you will be able to find the answers to the most of the questions, you know, and to find also the most important steps that you must do in order to submit your project in Plaza. Okay, there's another question.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, there is somebody asking if we can give more details about twin projects for risk countries. Since, as we said earlier, we're not going into the level of the content, but we can give you the information that there will be a separate webinar on integrating risk and innovation, which is going to be held on the 20th of April. So we warmly and kindly ask you to register for that webinar so that you can post this question there, or maybe you don't need it because the information will be already provided during the webinar itself. So you can also potentially address this, so to add this session on the 20th of April into your agenda on the B2 match. I think we don't have other questions right now. We're checking the chat. So there is somebody that would like to go back to the slide with a number of points for different types of evaluation criteria. So I would kindly ask Mark to go back to that slide.
Sure.
I think that's the one. Yes. Perfect. So we can keep the slide while the potential applicants can have a look at that. On the same time, there is another question that I would like to and then ask Mark to answer is when and where we can familiarize with the application form.
Okay. So regarding the application form, so as I said before, and I think that this is important also to keep in mind, in Friday there will be the guidelines for applicants that will be published. Okay, this guideline for applicants will be published at the EIT Urban Mobility website, meaning that there you will find all the things that you must keep in mind in order to fulfill the application form.
Thank you. We have a question, maybe it's a matter of math itself. The question is that whether the information on the excellence, impact, and implementation, so the sum of the points is actually 75 and not 85. So I think that's math problem here.
Yeah, this is a math problem. Let me check exactly which are the number of.
But anyway, what I wanted to inform you is that each call, because as you know, we have 6 different calls. Each call has the correct number and detailed number of points for each session. So all the sessions are the same. So you have the strategic fit, excellence, impact, and implementation, and you may find there the exact number of points for each call.
That's correct, Alessandra. And in fact, yeah, thanks a lot for noticing that. Okay, regarding the points, it's important, yeah, to be sure that are correct. Okay, in this case, yeah, there was a matter of math. Okay, you can find also this information in the call documents. Okay, as you can find here, you will obtain 15 points for the strategic fit, then 25 points for the excellence sections, 30 points for the impact section, and 30 points for the implementation section. Okay. The only difference that you can find here is regarding the scoring and regarding the weights referred to the business creation program. Okay, where the scoring is a little bit different, where let's say the different scores are different, but by the rest of the calls, okay, you will have always this scoring, okay, from a strategic fit to the full proposal evaluation.
Thank you, Mark. So I don't know if we have additional questions. I just want to inform you that in any case, all the questions that you are posing today, we are somehow grouping them. And as I said earlier, we're going to put them inside our Q&A part and then be published on the website. We are constantly updating the Q&A part. So you will have anyway, if you can check every week, you can find other questions and other answers, and you can get more acquainted also to our rules. But in any case, thank you, Mark, for putting the last slide. Please, if you have additional questions that you cannot find in the Q&A, write to us. So our email is there. So get in contact with us and we will try to get back to you, obviously, as soon as possible. So if there are no other, I think, pending issues here, as it seems, I would like to thank you for your attention and good luck.